On November 7, 2006, at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, multiple witnesses, including airline pilots, supervisors, and mechanics, claimed to have seen a UFO hovering over United Airlines Gate C-17. It was described as a disc, or in more common terms, a flying saucer. News of the incident quickly spread.
There's a story you may have already heard about. United Airlines employees who swear it was something otherworldly in the skies above Chicago's O'Hare Airport on November 7th.
Several airport workers, some of whom have talked to the Chicago Tribune, who say they saw a saucer-shaped UFO.
They saw one, a UFO. They say it hovered over a terminal without lights before shooting straight up right through the clouds last fall.
You might think that only 5 years after 9/11, reports of a flying object trespassing over highly restricted and highly sensitive airspace would be met with an overwhelming response by the government. But you'd be wrong. At the time, both United Airlines and the Federal Aviation Administration told the press they didn't feel it necessary to investigate the incident at all. It wasn't until journalists and independent investigators started filing Freedom of Information Act requests that they finally admitted they had looked into the O'Hare UFO incident, but had determined that it could have been simply a weather phenomenon, a trick of light reflecting off the clouds. One group that filed Freedom of Information Act requests was the National Aviation Reporting Center on Anomalous Phenomenon, or NARCAP. Official FAA Freedom of Information Act logs show that NARCAP had requested FAA radio communications from Chicago O'Hare during the alleged UFO sighting. This audio was indeed released, and within a very detailed 152-page report, NARCAP printed a transcript of this audio. However, beyond the transcript, not many people have heard the actual audio. After an extensive search, we have obtained the audio of radio communications between United Airlines and the FAA at Chicago O'Hare International Airport on the afternoon of November 7th, 2006.
Tower, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave, it's Sue from United Tower.
Hey, Sue.
Hey, did you see a flying disc out by C-17?
Oh, don't even start, Sue.
No,
You're seeing flying discs.
well, that's what the pilot and the ramp guys are telling us. The C-17, they saw some flying disc above, and we can't see
Come
above us.
on,
You
Sue.
didn't see it, right?
Hey, you guys been celebrating the holidays already over there or what? You having a Christmas party today? I have not seen anything, Sue. And if I did, I wouldn't admit to it. No, I have not seen any flying disc at Gate C-17. Unless you got a new aircraft you're bringing out today that we don't know about.
No.
No, I have not seen anything, Sue.
Right.
If I do, I don't know what I'll do. If I see, I guess I'll back it up with you. But no, I'll keep an eye out.
All right, bye.
All right, there. O'Hare Tower, Dwight.
Dwight,
Yes.
what happened to Dave? Did he have to take a break because I called him?
No.
This is Sue from United.
Yes.
There was a disc out there flying around.
There was a what?
A disc?
A disc? Can you hang on 1 second?
Sure, Dwight.
Okay, I'm sorry. What can I do for you now?
All right. I told Dave there was a disc flying outside above Charlie 17, and he thought it was pretty much high. But I'm not high and I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
Someone actually has a picture of it. So if you guys see it out there,
A disc? Like a frisbee?
like a UFO type thing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a picture of it.
How high above Charlie 17?
Well, it was above our tower. So
Uh-huh.
if you happen to see him,
You know what? I'll keep a peeled eye for that.
all right.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Tower Cab, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave, Roger, over at United ATC.
Yeah, Roger.
I got an interesting one for you, Dave, here. Some of our employees, I don't know if you heard anything about this, some of our pilots on the ground were reporting a UFO sighting at 1,000 feet from the seaside of the airport. Did you guys hear anything about
You
that?
know what? The ramp tower called me, I want to say about 10, 15 minutes ago. We have not seen anything up there.
Okay,
Because she said it was right around Gate C-17.
okay,
But, I mean, and since she called, I've been looking, but we have not seen anything.
okay.
You know, I mean, if we do, oh well, I guess, you know.
Well, no, I was just wondering, maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to give him C7 right.
Yeah, I know. Either that or you guys unveiled a brand new aircraft that I didn't tell anybody about.
I know.
But no, we have not seen anything, but we will surely keep an eye out, that's for sure.
Thank you very much.
No problems.
Bye.
I got to cue that.
Ground Gateway 5668, send the penalty box ready to go to the north port.
Gateway 5668, you can use Alpha to north port and use caution for the UFOs.
Alpha to the north port, we'll take a look. United Maintenance 44.
Okay, it's 44. Thank you.
All right.
44 is going around the north port.
Excellent.
You got Eagle and SkyWest over here coming around this way. He's turning in no factory. You really got no other gate holds.
All right.
Somebody reported a UFO or a flying disc above Charlie Concourse. Seriously.
Excellent.
Yeah. So nobody can
keep my eyes open.
nobody can see it, but use caution.
All right.
And that's pretty much it. Gateway 5668.
5668, go ahead.
Yeah, look out your window. Do you see anything above United's concourse? They actually, believe it or not, they called us and said somebody observed a flying disc about 1,000 feet above the gate Charlie 17. You see anything over there?
Not that I can tell.
Okay. Yeah, I thought my job was stressful.
We saw it a half hour ago.
Who saw it?
A whole bunch of us over at the Charlie Concourse.
Really? You guys did? Who's this?
The United taxi mechanics.
We reached out to United Airlines in the FAA for comment. United Airlines states, "We don't have anything to share on this one," and referred us to the FAA. We reached out to the FAA with a list of questions. They responded with this one statement. As for the reports on that day, the controllers in the tower at O'Hare reported no unknown aircraft, and nothing unusual was detected on radar. No further investigation was conducted. When we pointed out that both FAA logs and radio communications did in fact document reports of an unknown disk in the sky, and asked whether the FAA still stands by their statement that the UFO could have simply been a weather phenomenon, the FAA responded, "We won't be going beyond the statement you received."
Joe, which is not his real name, is one of several airport workers, some of whom have talked to the Chicago Tribune, who say they saw a saucer-shaped UFO hovering just beneath the clouds at the airport. He's the first to go on camera to talk about it since this happened several weeks ago. He wants to remain anonymous.
But you're sure it was some kind of object that normally would not be above O'Hare Airport?
I've been at O'Hare for quite some time, and let's just say that I've never seen an object in my time there that looked like this.
Other witnesses told an organization called the National UFO Reporting Center that the object eventually shot straight up in the sky at a great rate of speed.
It looked like literally someone had poked a hole in the clouds.
And you don't believe it was a weather phenomenon?
Not at all. Not for a minute.
A spokesperson for United Airlines says, "We are aware of what the employees said they saw, but this is not something United would investigate. Talk to the FAA," says the airline. The TSA and the Chicago Department of Aviation also told us to talk to the FAA. So we did, and an FAA spokesperson told us we too don't have the power to investigate.
Oh, hey, here's John. Hey, John.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Well, fine, thanks. How are you?
Busy with this UFO stuff.
Oh, my God. Did you see it hit the Fox crawl Monday night?
Did it? It's just
Yes.
been everywhere. I mean, I've been on CNN, my fourth appearance today.
Really?
Every MSNBC, every network.
Oh, my goodness.
And just worldwide. I mean,
Yeah.
Australia, everywhere.
That's what we're going to start off. I'm going to say, and John, the response has been, well, out of this world, hasn't it? Congratulations. So where's the latest on the investigation, the FAA, then?
Well,
is by this time tomorrow going to prove
yeah, United is now acknowledging that they were approached by employees. Mm-hmm. So they've done that flip-flop. And I'm trying to locate photos of this. I'm told there may be photos.
Really? Wow. That would be cool. I'm told that the story on CT
right
has almost 1 million hits.
Yeah, it's the most read story in the history of CT.com.
You're kidding me.
No, I got an email yesterday from Bill Adi.
Wow.
I mean, it's like, yeah, in the entire history of the website.
Oh, incredible.
So,
Incredible. So does the possibility exist you might get the pictures and get them in for tomorrow? Or
Oh no, I don't think. No. I mean, I'm told the pilots on that plane that was being pushed back. I said in the story that they opened the windscreen and stuck their head out. Now I'm being told that one of them had a digital camera and snapped some pictures.
Wow.
So United is not playing ball with me, and FAA, I've expanded my FOIA to include the flight plan, which might include the pilots' names. And I'm trying to work with the union as well.
Are they still going by weather phenomenon?
FAA, pretty much because of the federal holiday, I haven't talked to them that much. But yeah, they haven't changed their story, and I've just heard from other people, since then that that explanation just doesn't wash.
And they haven't gone out of their way to say anything otherwise so far.
No, I mean they say it was November 7th. They're moving on. They're just doing their daily thing.
Well, I tell you what, all the people who saw it must be feeling a little validated right about now, huh?
Oh yeah, and I'm getting tons of emails from other people who outside the airport as well as at O'Hare
Really?
who also either cited that same object or saw the hole in the sky and said, "What is that?"
Wow. Okay, so what did it look like again to the folks who saw it? It was a saucer-like object hovering over the United terminal, right?
Yeah, directly over gate C-17. And it was stationary in the sky, dark gray metallic, like I say, saucer-shaped, no lights, and it was there for some minutes. And then when it disappeared, it just streaked through the clouds with such energy that it broke a big blue hole in the overcast, and the hole remained there for several minutes until the wind drifted and pushed the clouds back together.
So the blue was the sky.
Yeah, the blue was the sky, but otherwise the entire skyline was cloudy.
Totally overcast, huh? Man.
So it's nothing. An airplane just doesn't react like that. It does. It slices through, and it doesn't disturb the atmosphere.
Man. Do you have other interviews set up after this, John?
Yeah, I'm going back on a radio station, a couple of radio stations this afternoon, and then Headline News has a show I'm doing at 3 o'clock.
Okay. Ooh, I'll have to watch if I'm... Yeah, I'll be off the set by then. Okay, Australia, what other international?
Oh my God! I mean, all over Europe.
Oh my gosh!
Hearing from people, Ireland, they say, we heard about what's happening at O'Hara.
You're kidding.
I mean,
Butch O'Hara.
I mean, just as well as serious, researchers at major U.S. universities who've attempted to do their own investigations, and when they go to the government to try to get information, they get stonewalled. So there really is this universal feeling that the government knows a lot more than it's willing to tell.
Man, okay. Okay.
I'm just going to say,
okay, here we go. I think it's so cool that I was the first one to get to talk to you about it.
That's right, last Friday.
Yay. Okay. The UFO O'Hare story the Chicago Tribune exclusively broke on New Year's Day is garnering attention around the world. Joining us now to talk about it once again is Tribune transportation writer John Hilkovich, who broke the story. And John, the response has been, well, out of this world, hasn't it?
Yes, it has been astronomical, Jim. Every major country, it seems, people have written in, both those who claim they've spotted UFOs during their life, as well as serious researchers. I mean, just the last 2 days, this is my email, and these are the serious emails. The ones from kooks who said they were brought aboard alien spacecraft, I put in a circular file. So it's just a story that has legs, and people are fascinated by the thought, and I think there's some belief that there are advanced life forms that are visiting us here on a regular basis.
You've been contacted now in the last few days by several countries, but that also includes serious university researchers here in the U.S. I've got to tell you, too, I got a call from my dad in California Monday night, and he's like, what is up with the O'Hare UFO story? I'm like, where did you see that? Where did you read that? Well, it was on Fox Network's Crawl at the bottom. It's just amazing how much this is garnering.
Yeah, it really is, and worldwide attention, as you say. And from people who have made observations themselves, including on November 7th, the date of this incident, additional people both at O'Hare and outside the airport who have either seen this gray disc-shaped metallic object themselves, or they saw that huge hole in the sky that the object created when it vanished.
Let's go over that one more time. What did people see when it all of a sudden vanished right through the clouds over the United Terminal? And then how's the FAA been reacting the past few days, too? Any new ground on that?
Okay. Well, the object was hovering in a stationary position about 1,500 feet above the United Terminal for some minutes. And then when it left, it just burst through this thick cloud layer, creating a large open space of blue sky on an otherwise overcast day. It took some minutes for that opening to close up when the clouds drifted back together. And it's just extremely unusual, according to the witnesses. I mean, airplanes just don't react like this. They slice through clouds, and they really don't disturb the atmosphere that much, except for the wingtips and such. The FAA is still, pinning this to some kind of weather phenomenon, that some lights from the airport and the overcast skies somehow got together and created this image. But weather experts, astronomy experts, others that I've talked to said that that's bunk. That explanation just doesn't wash. United, on the other hand, after first denying that they got any reports from employees about this sighting, is now saying, yes, indeed, their employees did approach them immediately because of concerns about safety.
And to reiterate, John, the witnesses who originally came to you are all seasoned, professional, credible professionals, like pilots who saw this.
They're pilots, they're senior managers, they're mechanics, and others. So, they are very truthful about what they're saying, and we're trying to locate photographs, if they do exist, of this incident.
Well, John, we know you have plenty of other interviews to do today with other countries, so we'll let you go and we'll keep our eyes to the sky. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
We're just checking it with good things.
This is just incredible. Isn't it amazing what really garners people's...
Yeah.
For various reasons, I suppose,
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, no, it's...
I can't wait to see in a week where this stands,
Yeah.
John Bukovich is here. Now, why don't we talk, this is the UFO story that was mentioned on the Colbert Report last night. This is, what, a 4-year-old story?
Yeah, the story ran January 1st, 2007, based on a alleged incident that occurred at O'Hare above gate C-17 on November 7th, 2006. Reason there was a several-month lag in us reporting it, or even deciding whether to report it at all, was that I had to track down the witnesses of this alleged incident. And what fascinated me was the fact that these were all such credible observers. These were pilots, these were ramp workers and mechanics who were jockeying planes back and forth from the hangar, who all, down to a person, reported the exact same sighting. This metallic gray spear-shaped or disc-shaped object hovering stationary in place about 1,500 feet above gate C-17. And then they all described this departure where it just left suddenly with such velocity and speed that it poked this donut-shaped hole in what was otherwise a very cloud-covered sky that day.
Huh. So it's an intriguing story.
Right.
That you reported in the Tribune, and then its new life is what?
Well, its new life is there's a new book by an author named Leslie Kean, and Miss Kean was on the Colbert Report last night. And she brought up the O'Hare sighting, in which Stephen Colbert said he had never heard of it, so he asked, how do I find that on Google? And that unleashed the floodgates.
So this morning, did you watch the Colbert Report last night?
I did not.
So how did you find out about this?
Well, two ways. One, I got an early morning call from a producer at WGN Radio asking me to come on. And I had just had my first cup of coffee. So I okay, so what's the news here? This is almost a 4-year-old story. And then shortly after that, I received, as I do almost every day, emails from UFO enthusiasts and researchers who were talking about this the Colbert Report the previous night. So I quickly got up to speed. Let me repeat that. I quickly got up to speed on what was happening.
So let me ask you, in this event, what is the most credible aspect of this event? I think maybe we're getting into this. The most credible aspect of this purported UFO sighting is?
Well, the most credible part is that pilots, numerous pilots, including the two pilots at C-17, opened their windows and peered out the cockpit, and both saw in great detail, what they, perceived to be a UFO. And they said it couldn't have been a light show. It could not have been a weather phenomenon, as the FAA later said it must have been. And I have documentation between United Airlines managers to their bosses saying, we've received reports of this from our employees. What do we do? Some of these employees were brought in, interviewed, even asked to draw sketches of what they saw. So what's equally important is not just that the caliber of these witnesses, but the Tribune's ability to document, for no better word, a cover-up by both United Airlines and the FAA, because when I went to both parties, they flatly said they knew nothing about this, that my call was the first information they received. And in fact, I have correspondence that shows that they clearly were told about it and communicated internally and externally about it.
And so what is is there anything that blows a hole in this thing?
Well, what blows a hole in this theory is that no air traffic controller saw it, that nobody with a camera phone at O'Hare happened to snap a picture of this, and this spaceship, if it was so, is long gone.
So an alien abduction case, but in the figurative sense, it has abducted your day.
It has abducted my day. I have put aside 2 or 3 other stories, and I'm working on this today.
So I guess what bothers me most about this story is how clearly people who should have been following up and paying attention haven't been. And the case that sticks with me, November 7th, I think, 2006, at Chicago O'Hare Airport, 4:15 in the afternoon, gate C-25, I believe. The pilot of the plane waiting to depart to Charlotte looks up, and there is a saucer hovering not that far over the plane. People in the tower see it. Other pilots see it. Dozens of people see it. It's real, and the FAA refuses to investigate. How could that be?
I know, it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking to me. I mean, they refuse to investigate, I think, because who knows what the bigger reason probably is that they can't explain these things, and they just they don't want to deal with them. It might frighten people. They don't have enough information. They don't like to say, well, there's something hovering above an airport, but we don't know what it was. So basically, they will come up with other explanations for it, such as that it was a weather phenomenon. That's what the FAA said about O'Hare, which is really an insult to the pilots who witnessed this thing and many other observers who know that it wasn't weather. I mean, it was a metallic-looking disc-shaped object that hovered over as you said, hovered over a terminal, it's gate C-17 for about 5 minutes, and then it shot straight up through the clouds. This was an incredible aspect of the thing. It was hovering below a cloud bank, and all of a sudden it just shot straight up really fast through the cloud bank and cut a hole in it. So there was like a cookie cutter clean hole in the clouds. You could look up and see the blue on the other side. And as far as anybody knows, as far as I know, and from what I've been told, we don't have machines in the sky that can do things like that.
But I mean, this is not a potato field in Maine in the 1950s at 3 in the morning. This is Chicago O'Hare, one of the busiest airports in the world, in the middle of the day, in front of sober witnesses, including pilots and the control tower. And the FAA says we're not that interested. Like, how could that be?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's very bad. I appreciate how baffled you are, Tucker, because I'm baffled too. And you can imagine that the witnesses involved with this, it's an insult to them. I mean, there are many witnesses, and we're talking about military people, high-level people in the Air Force, the Navy, the other military commercial pilots who were just told that we're not interested in what they saw.